4, 3, 2, 1. Affirmative. And you sure know how to play Boy Scout.
Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm taking a look at another Figma, and this is twice in a row, in a week. What's going on? But anyway, of course, this right here is Reaper from Blizzard's Overwatch. As you can see right there on the box, this is Figma number 393. I think I might have missed 300 or so of these. I do have one or two lying around the place, but when I was living in Japan, I was so into these, and after leaving, I kind of fell out of it. And it's something I would like to get back into. But anyway, this video right here would not be possible without those absolutely fantastic, awesome people over at Hobby Japan. So if you do want one of these, or for any of your Figma needs, check out that link down there in the description. Now here we go. So we're gonna just start this off straight away with a spin, and that right there is what it looks like. So anyway, this is what Figma Reaper will look like once it's out of the box and just stuck in a standard standing pose. So all in all, this is much better than the last two Figma that I looked at, which were the little armory girls. One of them was fine, one of them not so much, but this right here is great. I will mention, there is one minor paint flub on this that I noticed right away on the back here, and you won't really notice it from a distance, but it's worth noting that it is there. But besides that, there isn't really anything else bad on here. But anyway, let's take a closer look at some of the details. So I will mention before I actually get into that I have made quite a few Figma reviews in the past. It's something I kind of just fell out of touch with, I guess, once I left Japan. I guess in a way I am a bit of a simple creature, because just because they're around me all the time, I saw them, then wanted them, then kept on buying them. And because they're not really around here in Ireland, I kind of, well, forgot. But seeing as Overwatch is a Western IP, it does mean that they stock these outside of Japan, unlike a lot of other Figma. And yeah, I saw this guy at GameStop for, what? Seriously, that is insane. Do not do that. Once again, Hobby Japan, literally half the price. So yeah, maybe this coming together of Overwatch and Figma, two things that I really love, might actually bring back to life my Figma obsession, and I have a feeling that it will. And you might be like, Mecha, I didn't know you were into Overwatch. And maybe into might be putting it a bit lightly, because there might be a bit of a mild Overwatch obsession going on in my house. A little bit, just a bit. But anyway, I digress. Onto those details. And speaking of the paint and details, this is absolutely fantastic. The silver paint there looks great. We've got some scratches in the metal of his boots, the red on the eyes of those demons, goats, reaper faces, whatever those knees are meant to be, but it looks good. On the legs, we've got a nice mix of textures there. We've got matte on the pants, and on those little armor pads, those are in a nice, very nice, glossy finish. Moving up a bit further, and as for those belts, these are in a pliable material. That probably means they won't get in the way of the articulation, but we'll find out later. The cloak looks great as well. We do have some points of articulation up here we'll look at later on. The cloak is looking great as well in that semi-gloss. It's a little bit matter than the camera actually makes it look. There's some nice lines with the stitching on there. The sculpt is quite good, and there is a little bit of articulation up here. Once again, we will look at that later. Once again, my only real complaint with the paint applications on this is that little smudge up here, but once again, this will vary from figure to figure, so if you're lucky, you won't get any of that, and more than likely, you won't. The sculpt on the arms there, especially the bracers and gloves with those spikes, look great. The arm is in a little bit of a almost odd pinky hue, but it's not that bad, and we've got a minor mold line right here. The torso there also has that mix of gloss and matte, which makes it look great. A little bit of red there on those shells on the chest. And there's one thing, and only one thing, that I've always felt a little bit odd about the Reaper design, and that is probably just me, but what's meant to be the nose, to me, looks like a funny little grin. Can you see what I mean? It looks like a big smile, like some kind of odd, grinny take on the Scream mask. If you've been wondering through this review why you're able to see through those little holes in the back of the hood here, that's because the hood can't attach. So that's what Reaper would look like if he wasn't wearing a hood. I know about that now. But anyway, he does look great. So far, so good. Let's check out the accessories. And speaking of those accessories, here is the Figma Reaper with absolutely everything that it comes with. So of course, we've got a whole bunch of hands, a grand total of 9. Of course, that is including the 2 attached up there on the figure. We've got those 2 Hellfire Shotguns, the Death Blossom effect parts. We've also got this flat little Shadow Step effect part. This little bit here, which is an extension part then for the included stand around here on the back. So starting off with the hands, the first pair we have in here is a pair of fists. It is worth noting that all of these hands do come packed in the box with these little pegs inside of them. This is really smart. These aren't for anything but keeping that hole open so it doesn't close up in the packaging. That's pretty cool. And all the hands included in here have been chosen very well because they do all replicate some of Al Reapy Reap's signature poses as well as his highlight intros. Let's check them out. First up, when it comes to alternate hands, this is what we got right here. These are a pair of claw hands that are essentially outstretched but still in a menacing kind of flexed claw-like pose. So pair one of these bad boys up with one of the fists we saw already, grab that shadow step effect part, and you've got yourself the shadow step highlight intro. And you can make the ready for action victory pose, or even better, shrug. Now tell me, is there a better Reaper pose? No, there isn't. So if that wasn't enough classic Reaper poses for you, don't worry, there's a whole lot more in here. Next up is this right here. Of course, that's that friendly Reaper thumbs up of encouragement. Kind of. No, it's not. It's that. Yes, this right here is for pulling off the slice emote as well as the executioner highlight intro. Now on to the next one. Next up then are these hands right here. These aren't for using with anything that comes in the box. These just have your standard 3mm hole. Like this is what is used in most Japanese action figures and model kits for accessories. So really the best aspect about Figma figures is you get to act out your kawaii, super manly anime fantasies like Reaper gets a waifu. So by popping that hand with the little hole in it on, just borrow this for a second, give me that, and there we go, totally matches with Reaper's gothic Lolita aesthetic. Very cute. So Overwatch is renowned for being a very inclusive game, so maybe he doesn't have a waifu, so bye bye waifu. Maybe he's got himself a nice husband though.
What are you looking at? No one left behind.
Anyway, back to those accessories. So next up then we've got the Hellfire Shotguns, very nicely detailed. That's what they look like here. There's a bit of an image of what they look like in the game. So right here they are definitely a lot cleaner looking than they are in the game, but they still look pretty damn good. They even have that extremely tiny little detail there of the RPNT Repent decal, so that's pretty cool. And around the other side, pretty much the same. These then connect into that last pair of hands, which is just a pair of gun holding hands. So that right there is what they look like attached, and of course with these, we're able to pull off that absolutely classic Reaper pose as well as the Death Blossom highlight intro. And speaking of the Death Blossom, we also get these two effect parts, so let's pop them on. There we go, that's 1 and 2. And that really is a testament to how stable this figure is, because I took the action base off ages ago, and this is probably one of the only Figmas I have that can stand up under this load. But seriously, these right here look absolutely awesome. The orange fade into red and those black tips on the lower points, these look incredible. Perfect for some
Die! I need healing.
It will take more than that to keep Genji out of the fight.
Last up then, we've got this right here. This is that shadow step effect part. So this is just a bit of acetate with that printed on it. So you just slap that down like so.
I need healing.
And then slap Reaper down on it like that.
I need healing.
So it's quite simple, but it does have a fairly effective effect. So now onto the articulation, and as always, from the head down.
I need healing.
So first up the head, I'm going to pop off the hood, but I will mention before I do, this is a little bit of a pain in the arse. It's got 3 points of where it connects into the torso, and I can only really get the back one or the front ones in at one time, and it always seems to kind of hover like that, which does infuriate me. But anyway, off with that. This is a double jointed neck, so that does mean we get our good old giggity goo. That also means it can look up here, look down here, move forward and back here, and rotate. Kinda. The shoulders on this are incredible. We get a whole lot out of these. There's all the way up, all the way down. That rotates all the way around. This little segment of plastic here that can move around, as you can see over here, with the joints, so you can kind of cover up the gap when you have it extended out. And inside there it might be hard to see, but it can rotate back and forth. At this point, we've got an up and down joint there. I honestly don't know what you call one of these. Again, that might be hard to see there, but it is a joint in a joint in a joint. So there is quite a lot going on up here in the shoulders. Very nice. Next up then, we've got that bend at the elbow. That's it bent all the way. Doesn't go too far. There's it extended all the way. Rotation at the forearm right here. And your standard Figma joint right here, which gives you that pivot there as well as rotation. The ab crunch here is just one joint, but it does exactly what you want it to. Crunch. We've got side to side there too. Pretty good. Rotation goes from there to there. Like that. As for the legs, there's the kick all the way up to the front. Not bad, but not great. Bend at the knee. Now that's pretty good. The cape is on joints, so that can move up like so. See the butt? Can also flare out like that. Because of the butt, the kick out to the back isn't the greatest. There is as close as he gets to the split, so not close at all. There is the rotation at the upper leg. There's the ankle all the way up, all the way down, so fairly limited. Pivot side to side like so. There, you can see that from the front. We do have a bend at the toe, but all in all, the articulation is good, but not great. Woo! Somehow I almost forgot to do a size comparison, so here we go. There is Figma Reaper beside an SD Gundam, High Grade Gundam, Real Grade Gundam, Master Grade Gorilla Hands Gundam, Perfect Grade Gundam, Anime Figure, Small Funko Pop, Big Funko Pop, Small Figma, a Medium Figma, a Big-ish Figma, SH Figuarts Goku, and Genji.
Even here, I feel an outcast.
Anyway, that is it for the review, and all in all, I absolutely adore this figure. Its strongest aspect, without a doubt, is its looks. The only thing I would give it a negative 0.4 is the no carbon fiber on the shiny parts on the chest and legs and gloves. I would have liked to have seen that, but for such a small scale figure, I'll let it pass. All in all, the colors look great, the mix of metallic, gloss, and matte look awesome. The articulation is quite good in the upper body. Hit the legs, it's not so great, but definitely not bad by any means. All in all, this is a fun figure. If you like Reaper, if you like Overwatch, then I'd say totally go for it. Just to make sure you don't pay twice its actual price for it. But anyway, if you don't want to pay twice the price for it, check out that link in the description. You can get yours at HobbyLink Japan. Also, if you do want to see more Figma reviews on the channel, then hit that like button down there to let me know. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more reviews, and I'll see you next time.